Hi, I'm Sharon with At Your Service Dog Training. This is my puppy Kismet, and I'm going to show you how to start training your dog to go lie down and relax on a mat. So we're working on a dark green fuzzy surface, so I'm going to use a white mat. I always try to use something that the dog can see easily in comparison to the floor. Even better would be to use a hardwood floor, so I might do that because then the texture is very different from the mat. But I thought for the video it might be easier to see on the dark green, so we'll try that. So before I put it down, I'm going to have my clicker in hand. I'm going to be ready to click the very first interest. With the mat, shaping means reinforcing tiny steps toward a larger goal. So at this point he's already interested in the mat. He wants to chew it. He's 9.5 weeks old, so all he really knows that we've only started doing is his name and drop it. And house training. That's it. Drop it. Good. So, okay. So I'm going to put the mat down. The second, it's just a little towel. The second that he approaches it, I'm going to click and place a treat on the mat. So I'm going to keep marking and rewarding on the mat. So he gets this great reinforcement history of, hey, the mat just grows treats. Like treats just magically grow out of this mat. So I'm clicking and treating for paws on, for nose on, for sniffing it, for anything to do with the mat in the beginning. Then periodically I toss a treat up, good boy, off. He just sat down. So I'm shaping relaxation. So anything that the dog does, good boy, that's more relaxed than the thing they did the second before, I'm going to reinforce that. So periodically, and I'm trying to use dark colored treats because those are going to show up better on the white mat or the pale floor. Free. I'm going to toss a treat off to get him off, reset him, and then he comes back immediately. I click and treat for anything to do with the mat. I keep placing the treats on the mat. I try to click when his nose is on the mat because if I keep placing the treats right under his nose, he's likely going to eventually just lie down because that is the easiest way to get the treats, right? So he just learns like, oh, I just stay here and the treats just magically come to me if I lay down. I have not trained him to lay down. He doesn't know how to sit. So this is shaping. I'm just rewarding these behaviors. I'm making it easy for him to succeed by placing the treat right where his nose is. Free. I'm going to toss the treat off to get him off. And I'm not using a cue. I am just good boy. So you can see that I keep clicking for the nose down, for sitting on the mat, and I place the treat, yes, good boy, where it's very convenient for him to lay down. I'm going to pause a second and see if he offers a lay down. If he were to move one of his paws forward, the lean forward is a little bit closer to a down than a sitting up. So for a lot of things, we train our dogs to pay attention to us, to look up at us, to be active and attentive. For relax on the mat, I actually try to train disconnection. I will click for sniffing, for looking down, yawning, blinking, and we'll get to more of that later. But in the beginning of the first phase, I use the clicker and I mark and reward getting to the mat, getting on the mat, and laying down on the mat. I'm giving him a second. He's looking at my other dog. Free. Here, ready? Find it. He's not that good at finding treats yet. So I'm clicking him for coming back to the mat. I'm going to keep placing treats, good boy, on the mat and putting them in a place that's easy for him to lie down to get them. Good boy. Good job. Find that one. Good boy. Okay. Free. I haven't added the cue yet because he's not running back to the mat and lying down every time. Good boy. That's when I would start to add the cue, is if he was doing that. Good boy. Here, right here. Good. You notice I'm using a very high rate of reinforcement, which means rapid clicks and treats. I'm trying to get in as many clicks and treats as I can. Good shaping involves a very high rate of reinforcement. He's looking at himself in the iPad. Find it. So you can't really click and treat too much in this phase of training. Good boy. So now he's coming to the mat and lying down in only 2 clicks, whereas before it would have taken like 15. Free. Once I have the dog or puppy coming to the mat and lying down reliably over and over again, then I start to add a cue. There was 2 times I could have clicked just now when he was lowering his nose to the mat. Good boy. Good job. Very good. That's so good. Okay, so we'll take a little tummy scritch break. So he might be done with training now. He might be in mouthing the arm mode. We'll find out. Good boy. Okay. Free. I can start to name the behavior, add the cue when the dog is coming back to the mat and lying down over and over again. I don't think he's going to be ready for that yet. He's just a baby puppy, and I don't think he's going to be ready for that. But I want to show you the next phase of training just so you can see what it looks like. Free. The next phase, I don't use the clicker. I use a verbal marker, a word, like yes, yes, yes. I use the yes to mark the moment that I like, just like the clicker, yes. So it means the same thing, that was the right thing, and now you get a reward. Yes, good boy. Yes. When I am shaping relaxation, I don't like to use the clicker because it's activating for a lot of dogs. I try to use a quiet, slow, low tone, yes, verbal marker like that, yes. Especially if I'm working with a really high energy, hyper or anxious dog, I try to make everything I'm doing as quiet and slow and relaxed as possible, yes. So for this, I am not tossing the treats. I am quietly placing the treats slowly on the mat so that the dog doesn't have to move at all to get them. I'm not saying yes, right? That's like very exciting. I'm saying yes. So I just try to make everything relaxed. Release, free, find it. I'm switching cues with 2 different dogs. Have you forgotten what we're doing? I'm just gonna lure him, yes, for the purposes, yes, of the video. Yes. So things that I will yes are nose down, blinking, yes, sniffing, yawning, rolling onto the hip, yes. If the dog is really excited and active and their tail is wagging, if their tail starts to slow, I will yes, yes. For a slow tail, I will yes. For a still tail, I will yes, yes. For lack of movement, yes. For chin rest like you just did. If you think about your dog like they're an ice cream cone melting in the sun, anything that looks like melting is something that you can yes and treat. Yes. So rolling over onto their side definitely counts. So this is sort of like biofeedback for dogs. And this is the way that I train relax on a mat. This is just a quick demo. Not all of the parts, but some of the parts that I haven't seen in other training videos online. So I hope this is helpful to you. Happy training, and have a good training session. Bye-bye from me and Kismet.